I'm Jeff Gould, America's storyteller. Stories are more than entertainment. They are the fundamental teaching tool that drive a lot of our process and learning and add to the quality of our life. I'm going to prove it right now. When I do these videos, I do them as sort of a tutorial. So pretend you're looking at me on the big whiteboard, and let's go to the story map. All right. You've heard of story arcs? I think this is a better way to describe a story. This is called a sigmoid curve. Let me write it out here for you. Sigmoid. So if you see that in the crossword puzzle, now you know. So we see this in all kinds of things. Let's just look at plants, for example, right? We start out as little plants, and then we grow, and then we have fruit, and the fruit falls to the ground, and then the plant dies, right? Okay, so this is what happens. You start in life, you struggle, you get your mojo together, but then eventually all stories end, and this happens. Let me flip this over, and let's just talk about an example. Let's just look at let's look at the workplace. So you figure out you get a job, like, oh, I gotta get a job, gotta pay the rent, and you struggle because you got to deal with the workplace and the office politics, and finally you figure out maybe what you're a little better at, and then you work for the man, and then long about here you go, I'm tired of working for the man, when can I stop working for the man? And then you retire. Right? And by the way, this is a huge problem for Americans, a huge problem, because they don't know what to do next. This is not a huge problem for just people facing retirement. It's a huge job for kids who are wondering what they're going to do after school. It's a huge problem for parents who are wondering what they're going to do when the nest is empty. There's a huge problem when, wait a minute, this curve doesn't follow this nice simple pattern. Like there's just a huge break here. Like it could be a disease, it could be a loss, it could be a termination of employment. All of a sudden, this nice simple curve is broken. And now what happens? Well, what happens is this zone of opportunity, right? In life, there are a series of these sigmoid curves. And when you get to these points, it's both problematic, but real opportunity. Because as you get older, you innately get wiser. When you're on this track, it's hard to get off the track. But when the track ends, finally you can sit back and figure out what is the heart of what you were made to do. What was I made to do? And when you figure that out, that, my friend, is solid gold. When I talk about the sigmoid curve, that is what I'm talking about. I'm Jeff Gould, America's storyteller. I do workshops, I do keynotes, I do books, I do publications, I do one-on-one conversations, and of course, I do these as well. Just before I let you go, remember, find your story, live your story, and then please share your story. That is how you have an amazing life. I'm Jeff Gould, America's storyteller. God bless.